Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode of Cycling Insider, let's talk about another interesting bike from Giant, and this time is gonna be their 2019 model Giant Defy Advanced Pro 1. As always, you have noticed how Giant and other bike manufacturers just like to use these long bike names, but it seems like this is the trend for bikes in 2019. But jokes aside, this is a definitely interesting bike from Giant, and especially if you live in the USA. If you go to the Giant's USA website, you'll see that the current price for this bike is $3,213 US. I consider it an extremely good offer because a quick check on the UK website says that this bike is currently 3,200 British pounds, which would approximately be 4,000 US. So we can say that you are approximately saving from the previous US price something like 600 US, and that's a brilliant saving opportunity. So if you are in the US, definitely check the Giant Defy Advanced Pro 1. So let's kick off with the general paint scheme of the bike. So if I look a bit closer, it's a kind of a gloss black with a hint of red and gray. It's a pretty decent paint scheme. I can't say I'm anything especially fascinated with this paint scheme, but at least it's not one of those awful colors that some other bike brands are just dropping on their bikes. Again, you don't have a choice color here. It's the only color you can get, so hopefully you like it. But when we dive into the specs of this bike, you will see why I think that the price of $3,200 US is an absolute steal for this bike. So first thing first, the Giant's Defy bike range is all about comfort and kind of long days in the saddle. So it's their endurance bike range. So it tells you all about the geometry of the bike and about the carbon fibers they use in this frame and fork. So everything is geared towards comfort and the long days in the saddle. So it's not their all full-on racing bike. If you want that, you need to look at the Giant's TCR range. So if we look at this Giant Defy Advanced Pro 1, frame and fork, we have the Giant's advanced grade composite carbon fiber frame and fork. And as I always say, Giant is truly famous for producing excellent carbon fiber frames and forks, and also Giant offers a lifetime warranty on their frames and forks, so you absolutely don't have any worries about the carbon fiber forks and frames. Moving on to the handlebar and stem, this is all Giant's contact line, SLR or SL line. In-house production, aluminium components, again nothing special here, they will definitely last long enough. Seat post is the Giant's D-Fuse SL composite seat post. I think Giant was the first who invented this D-shaped seat post, and since this one is a carbon fiber one, it's always nice to see that bike manufacturers are including carbon fiber seat post, because it just helps you soak up small road bumps. Moving on to the group set, this is a mechanical Shimano Ultegra group set, so everything from shifters, front mech and rear mech, everything is Shimano's Ultegra mechanical group set. And as I said many times, you definitely can't go wrong with mechanical Ultegra group set. It's kind of the workhorse of Shimano when it comes to road bikes, so it's definitely proven group set and reliable group set. Brakes on these bikes are Shimano hydraulic disc brakes, Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes. Again, they don't mention here the size of the rotors. I hope it's 160mm rotors, because I don't like when bike manufacturers are cutting corners and putting 140mm rotors. It just doesn't make sense. They overheat and you lose the braking power. A cassette on this bike is the Shimano's Ultegra 1134. So a little piece of history: in the old days, when you would ride a mountain bike, a cross-country mountain bike, you would be using cassettes, something like 1132, 1134. So it's so interesting to see that now on a road bike you can have an 1134 Shimano Ultegra cassette and nobody's gonna laugh at you. Also, if you quickly check the crankset, it's the Shimano's Ultegra crankset, and this time 3450. So when you combine this crankset with the cassette, you're absolutely gonna climb some insane mountains and really steep mountains. Chain here is the KMC chain 11-speed SL1. Nothing special I can say about KMC chains. They are also a workhorse, and it's definitely on the levels of Shimano Ultegra chains, so I wouldn't say they were cutting corners here. Bottom bracket is the Shimano's press fit, brilliant, so you won't have any creaking noises from some other bottom bracket standards. I personally like Shimano's press fit. They know how to do it, or even the older versions of Shimano's bottom brackets. Rims and hubs on this bike, I mean the whole wheel set on this bike is the Giant's SLR disc wheel set, and this is the carbon fiber disc wheel set, so it's absolutely brilliant for $3,200 US. Of course, it's a 12mm through axles, both front and back, and the tires on these wheels are Giant's own in-house Giant Gavia tires, tubeless tires, 28C. I think this bike can take, yes, it can definitely take up to 32C tires. So just by including 28C tires, it's absolutely brilliant. You'll have a very, very smooth and cushioned ride. One extra on this bike is the Giant's own Bluetooth Sense or Ride Sense, which you can pair with other onboard computers. But the Giant have been doing this for a long time, so it's not kind of a novelty on this bike. Weight of this bike, unfortunately, Giant doesn't provide bike weights. But don't expect anything super light. I would say this would hover around something like 8 kilograms bike, which is totally perfectly fine because this is an endurance bike and it's long days in the saddle. You don't need to shave off every gram. You need to be comfortable in your bike rides. So all in all, I think it's an absolute steal of a bike if you are in the US for $3,200 US. Giant Defy Advanced Pro 1 with a carbon fiber frame and fork, lifetime warranty on the frame and fork, full Shimano mechanical Ultegra group set, so shifters, front mech and the rear mech. You also have the Shimano's Ultegra crankset, KMC chain, Shimano Ultegra cassette, and you have the Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes on this bike. And the little cherry on the top is the carbon fiber wheel set from Giant SLR disc wheel set with 12mm through axles, and also a bit of carbon fiber seat post on this bike. So all in all, truly impressive build from Giant, and this price, $3,200 US, you can absolutely go for it. I can't complain about anything special on this price level for this bike. If you live in UK and Europe, unfortunately I don't see they have a big discount like the US guys, but it only tells you that when you go to the bike shop you should easily be able to negotiate to the price approximately of $3,200 US. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, please do subscribe and leave your comments below. And as always, I will see you soon in the next video. Pura Vida!